My name is Lucy, and this is my website, Monster Maker. It is an art game. Right here is the home page, where I've got some various creatures that I've made while testing this game out. In a second I will kind of explain the process behind how these were made. Let's see, up here is the names. A lot of them are just named as that was just a test input before I was able to implement actually naming the monsters. Anyways, for some context behind the game and how it works, Monster Maker is based off of a cooperative art game called Exquisite Corpse. And Exquisite Corpse is a game about funny juxtapositions, hence the name itself is a bit of a juxtaposition. And the idea behind it is that three artists work together to draw a monster. So someone draws the head, someone draws the torso, and then someone finishes off by drawing the legs. But the catch is that you cannot see what everyone else drew. All you can see is that if I'm drawing the torso here, for instance, I can just see these two lines where the head drawer left off, just so I can like connect the torso and continue drawing. Likewise, the person down here can only see where I left off the torso. So you get some pretty funny mishmashes of styles and ideas. And so here are some examples of Exquisite Corpse that I've played in real life. This one is one of my favorites, I think, just because I drew the legs down here. I didn't know what the rest of the creature would look like, but I think it's very funny that you get this little spider creature crawling up and then just has a cute dog. And this do not feed sign makes me think it's begging for food. I drew the head here. Slug butt. This one I also thought was pretty funny since it's got like a very thick thick head and body, but a very skinny torso. And here I drew the body. It's kind of fun to experiment with non-conventional things for the bodies and heads and legs and whatnot. This one, the kid that drew the head and legs were the same person, so I think it's kind of cute. Looks like a mother carrying its child. And here I drew the legs. I just wanted to do something funny, like putting the creature in a blender. So it's being made into a smoothie, but doesn't seem to mind very much. And then lastly, this was a version of Exquisite Corpse that I played in the pixel art game Miniland. This is where I was testing it with a couple of friends just to see how well the game would translate to a pixel art format. Anyways, as for how the actual game itself works, if we go to start drawing over here, you can give yourself a name. Let's go Lucy Demo. You can see some of the previous like test names and whatnot I filled out. Let's see, and I believe all the previous monsters, there's like no monster to continue off of. It should give me a warning message. Yeah, can find any unfinished monsters, try creating a new one instead. So we'll go ahead and do that. And whenever you start a new monster, you always start with the head. This message up here will just give you some instructions, a little brief rundown on how this works. And you also get a couple of random words for a prompt, just to get some ideas of what to do. I like the idea of drawing a snake, so I'll do that. Doesn't have to look very elegant. Let's give it some stripes, I think. A little nostril. There we go. Nothing too complicated. And so once you're happy with that, you can click submit, and it'll give you another prompt saying that it submitted the drawing successfully, and it'll also give you a ID for the monster. And what you want to do with that is that you can copy it. When you go back to start drawing, if you continue the monster, then you can input it here to get the monster again. Or you can also just leave it blank and just get some random monster. Either way works, since there's only just the one unfinished snake monster in there right now. Let's do Spub for our second one. Everyone knows Spub. He's awesome. And here, since we're drawing the body, there's a little cover here to stop you from seeing the rest of the head. Let's see. Any of these adjectives speak out to me? Mere, pleasant. Obvious. No, not really. But I can always just make up my own. Let's do... Oh yes, there's also an eraser tool too. I was very proud of how the drawing controls worked. I also had the ability to change the pen size, as you've probably can guessed by that up there. Just do something like that, and then add the continuing lines down here. I was thinking about doing like a little spinal cord, but it's kind of looking like a potted plant that just got uprooted. It's kind of fun just to see where the art takes you. Let's do uprooted. It's the adjective, I think. But yeah, I think some of the funnest art that I've made is ones where the idea from start to finish is wildly different, something that evolves. Okay, once again gives us the ID. This time we can just continue with by leaving it blank since there's just the one monster. I don't know why, but the name Bone Ghoulie jumps out to me. It's the third name. Sigma, Windage, Sun, Quiet, Trombone. Yeah, and then finally for the legs, you just enter a noun. Yeah, actually. I kind of like that the drawing controls are just a little bit messy, because I think it's kind of nice when it kind of encourages you to like not have to worry about like every single detail. Let's see. Trying to draw like a little sneaky little sneaky pose, just kind of like doo -doo 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 -doo. So it was inspired by the quiet, but looks a little bit more like a skulking zombie. So sure, do zombie. That seems appropriate for Bone Ghoulie to make. And then you submit that, and then since I finish the legs, it'll tell you to go check the home page, and of course will automatically redirect us there. And let's go find it. Also take a look at some of the other monsters I've made while testing it out too. Here you can see the names that I used while testing, and sometimes I'll just like make the test name just like whatever, write my hopes and prayers into there. The operator, the weird, The Scream. Created by Herring. And it loads, right? Frozen skateboard creature. Jiggly Wiggly business first. Scary Killforg. This one I made earlier today while showing it off to Lori from Savvy Coders. And there we go! Uprooted zombie snake. Nice. Looks kinda cool. And there you go. Let's see. And I guess while I'm at it, here's the contact page that I made as well. It just contains all of the important information buttons like email, Discord, and my NeoCities website. And also, you can also just look skyward and scream, "Lucy!" No guarantees I'll hear you, but it might feel cathartic. Let's see. And then there's also another start drawing button up here as well. I think that's all that for the website there. Let's see. Guess I can go over some of the code and whatnot now. Oh, right. And before I do that, the place that I got the random words from, I used the random API. Yeah, the random word API from this website. So, yeah, I get like an animal for the head, adjective for the body, and then noun for the legs. Let's see. Oh, I know. Here's a look at what I initially had planned for the website. It kind of turned out somewhat similar to what I had envisioned. The only main things that changed is that when I was making the homepage, I didn't really know what really to put on there, and so the homepage and gallery kind of ended up getting merged. That and instead of having a proper finished drawing screen, it just provided a prompt. But in the future, I might want to add one. Yeah, you can see the about page, and then like the original UI I had planned for the form, but instead I just made a more basic looking one since due to time constraints, but it is what it is. And then I did consider adding some more in-depth drawing tools, but I think just like changing the pen size and having a way to erase was good enough for this. Let's see. Oh yes. As for things that I do want to add in the future, if I come to like new monster here, there's this little square here that looks a little bit suspicious, and the reason why that's there is that if I go to the start drawing page, there's a section where whenever you're making a new monster, you are intended to get prompted with a message saying like new monsters require sacrificial fruit, choose wisely, and you'd have a couple of different options of fruit to pick. And the idea behind that was that I would make it so that if, for instance, you chose like a grapes, for instance, then like the background and like the drawn parts would change color. So grapes, you might get like a light purple background with like a dark purple for the black instead. So yeah, that might be something that I want to implement in the future, just because I think it'd be kind of cute to be able to change the color palette that way. But yeah, let's see. As for difficulties about implementing this, let's see. Difficulties and the things I'm proud of. I think I'm most proud of the drawing controls. I was pretty happy with getting that figured out, and just making them feel pretty nice. Um, yeah, there was that, and then also getting the drawings to save and load and get stored on the server. That was pretty good too. Some difficulties. I think one of the most difficult things was figuring out how to send the canvas data to MongoDB. Um, the reason being that if I just sent a string with just all the pixel data of just like ones and zeros, that tends to get up in size pretty big pretty fast, and MongoDB doesn't like it if you try and send it like too big a size of file. So I had to dig around and find a way to compress it. And what is it? Yeah, I eventually figured out a solution using gzip to get that bundled down. So glad about that. Um, Other difficulties. There was a bug earlier today that I caught while doing that demo with Lori, where I think initially, yeah, I had it like this, where whenever whenever it goes to the canvas page where you can actually draw and whatnot, I needed to make sure that like the monster data was all in place. And to do that, I was checking the progress value here. Progress where it's like 0 equals you're drawing the head, 1 for torso, and then 2 for legs. But I had forgotten that 0 would count as false for this if statement here, so it'd see you trying to draw the head and it'd get confused. So, like if I change that back to the buggy state really quick, just mash some words there. I can still get to the drawing page, but it complains here and says it's got like a safeguard where it says that like, oh, you're free drawing, because it thinks that you aren't drawing a valid monster, and it gives you a warning that you won't be able to save and upload your drawing. And this is just if the user tries to like navigate to the drawing page without having filled out the start drawing form. Previously, I made it so that whenever that happens, it just like boots them back out to the start drawing, but I think I kind of like this solution better, just as a little warning message. But also just kind of like a nice way to just like test out drawing. But yeah. So yeah, I was pretty happy to get that bug taken care of before recording this demo. Let's see. As for planning out this project and whatnot, I think Agile was pretty helpful to kind of force myself to break down everything that needed to happen for this project to be made. I tend to struggle sometimes with larger projects if I'm not careful and like actually plan things out. So I'm pretty thankful for learning about Agile for that reason. Uh, I think that's more or less everything I wanted to talk about. Yep. Take one last look at the uprooted zombie snake that we all worked so hard to make. But yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you for watching.